Hello, everyone. We're back here at the Azureta channel with this crazy panel here to talk about Windows Subsystem for Linux, the WSL. Hello, everyone. Just say hi.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
Yeah, we have 5 different time zones here. Okay, we have Switzerland with Nuno, Brazil with Matheus, Patrick in Hong Kong, Fernando and I in Australia, but different time zone, Adelaide and Melbourne myself. Then keep, with us, stay with us. Patrick is from Canonical. He's going to be talking about, what he's doing on WSL with Canonical. And I'll start with Nuno. Nuno, you are our Docker captain. We are our CNCF ambassador and Microsoft MVP. Okay, what do you want to ask for Patrick? And I would say, Patrick, for introduce yourself after the question, but please, Nuno, start with the question, then we pass to Patrick.
Yeah, like we were discussing, I love Patrick's always like the print screens that you put into Twitter and everything. And when I do myself, like on WSL Fetch typically, because you know me, my passion for the different distributions that I have, right? So I always, when I do my WSL Fetch, I just have like these 5 lines and that's it. When I see your screens, they're crazy good. They have like a lot of information. So tell us what is the secret, please, because I need that for my distributions.
Okay, so that is actually from the develop branch of the WSLU. So like in the WSLU 4.0, like I have entirely refactored the WSL SYS utility and the WSL Fetch utility to like provide more customizations, like for people to like they can be more interactive with them. So maybe I can show a demo.
Yeah, Patrick, tell us where you're from. I think we all know that you are the guy that, behind the WSL Utilities, but tell a little bit about yourself.
So I'm Patrick, and I'm from Hong Kong, and like currently I'm working in Canonical as a software developer that develops Ubuntu for WSL, and I also have responsibility for developing the Ubuntu on Hyper-V. And right now I'm also studying Master of Science on Computer Science.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Anyone doing masters? Not anymore. just Patrick here doing masters. That's great.
Yeah, it was not enough challenging. He had to put like some master on top of it because why not?
Yes. Yeah. Go ahead, share your screen, and I think you're going with the question later with Matheus about the kernel and what Fernando want to ask. But go ahead, share your screen. Let's see what you have.
Yeah. So can you see my terminal?
Yes.
So like this is my WSL Fetch. Oops. I actually do not use the store one. Like I use a customized Ubuntu that is always on the develop channel. So like I can upload the packages always to the latest one.
Yep.
So like I think right now is okay. Yeah.
There we go.
Here we go.
So like this is like the in development version of the WSLU 4.1, and this is the new WSL Fetch utility. And so like in this version you can actually customize it by there is a new like RC file for the WSLU. So like you can input what you want inside of the the section, and like do you want to leave the color bar on or off, like you can just directly configure here, and when you type WSL fetch, it will like output it.
Nice. I like that very much. I was just looking. Okay, no, you have the kernel. Okay, sorry. Okay, standard kernel. So here you are using, let's say, because you know my love for systemd and all the acts that we did with Daniel, and will it be like the WSL package count will also count the snaps by default, or is it something that we will need to add?
Well, because it's not supported by default, so Snap is still not supported, so it's just the Debian packages.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, I think that's great because now be more, you can configure the information that you want to display when you do a WSL fetch. And Patrick, for someone that never used WSL, we talking about just a few minutes ago that many people using WSL, yes, I think everyone here and thousands and thousands of people using Windows Subsystem for Linux, but many people never use WSL utilities. And how people are using, how do like Penguin, how Ubuntu, how Canonical, how many other companies are using the utilities, how they can use, what's your advice on that? How they can really integrate that with the applications or anything they're doing?
So like I can talk about one certain company is like using it, but like I cannot disclose because it's still under NDA. So like they are using it to like help detect whether it is a WSL1 or WSL2, so that they can properly leverage the features. Like when using the WSL2, they will enable some extra features, while on WSL1 they will disable them. So
yep. That's one way. And looking at all the features that we have like if people don't know, they have to type WSL. I think do like a tab command just to show all the WSL commands that you have there. If you can do in your screen there, maybe help for us to discuss here what kind of commands they can use. WSL var, WSL view, or I think people never saw many of those commands.
Yeah. So like WSL fetch is basically like a nail fetch, screen fetch like tool that displays of your system information in a fancy way. And also we have the WSL sys. So this will display like in a more systematic way, and you can get a certain like this is a new feature, so you can get the WSL IP out directly from the WSL SYS. So they can script it if they need it. So one thing they implement is using the there is a version WSL, so they can do WSL version. So it will output the version, and they can use this to determine its whether enable or disable function. So the other one is a WSL var. WSL var. WSL var is more likely is a feature that tries to get the system variables from the Windows. You can do output your you can input. This is available that you can input using the AO option, and I think let me check again. I always forget my own utilities command.
That's all good.
It's getting too complicated. And let me check the man page. I think that's why. Also, all of the utilities have a specific man page.
That's the sys one. Yeah, then.
So okay, it's a virus. So like this is also a problem. Like a lot of people don't know. Like all my utilities have a man page for it. So like you can check the detailed options from there. So it's YS.
I think it's VAR.
Yeah, it's broken today.
No, WSL VAR. You put WSL VAR. WSL VAR. Dash
okay.
dash Cs. Yeah.
Mistake.
There you go. Exactly. That's how I'm doing it. Yeah, that works.
My short form have some problems. I will fix it later.
That's okay. Yeah,
so
that's a nice one because people you want to use that inside WSL and they can script that and
yeah. So yeah, and yeah, something like that. Like people can script the more like specific one, like some of them like the their personal information, like my documents, things like that, because they are not included by default in the like environment. So like they cannot utilize those features like by WSL by default. And let's move on to the next one. Is WSL SC. It's a shortcut creation tool. So like this one is, I think, most useful for a lot of people. Yeah, let me check. Okay, so it's enabled. I will like share my whole screen now. So like I can show you how it really works.
Yep. Matthew, you can ask anything. If you have you used WSL Utilities before? You're on mute, Matthew, but if you want to ask.
So I actually already have two like icon here. I don't know if you can see that on the desktop.
Yes.
These two are actually like created by the WSL SC. Like if you type like WSL USC G and get G, this will actually like generate the same icon here. So I will just try to delete this one. I'll try to regenerate. Okay, it's here. You can see it here. Yeah. And I can actually, I think, yeah, I have enabled the web server, so it should open the GNOME. Yeah. So like I open the GNOME Git here. Directly, like it will automatically set up everything, and all you have to do is you have a third-party X server enabled. So like it's a one command line, like you can create the shortcut for your all your like Linux stuff to on the desktop. So like the other one is my PyCharm that I usually use direct for developing the Ubuntu integrations. Like you can see it's startup.
Yeah. Do you know, Patrick, Nuno, I think that's for you as well. Do you know what Patrick is trying to do here? That's tell us what he's probably doing and Canonical is doing, but WSL has become so part of Windows now.
Like those are open source, so like I'm not worried about them.
Yeah, and what I mean is now we have WSL doing configurations on Windows. Yeah, we are doing configuration on Windows from WSL. Then I can see very soon, Ubuntu when installing, creating like some things on Windows, like to open X server graphical UI from the WSL itself. That's amazing.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
the GUI part is coming later this year, right? So that's quite granted right now. So based on that, it's clear that WSL, and I mean Matheus showed it. I'm using it a little bit also, but for compiling kernels for, let's say, I and or I level, let's say, workloads that you normally do on a Linux box, but you might not have access to a Linux box at your work, for example, then WSL2 now is really getting to a place where you can start putting more heavy loads onto it, like in development part mainly, of course. One thing that is really nice here that Patrick is showing, and that's repeated by a lot of persons, because we still have these file systems performance issues, right, between Windows and WSL. So by Patrick launching either the Git from WSL2 directly or from PyCharm, you ensure that you stay. You can move out, but let's say by default you stay into your WSL file system and you work with performances. That's really important. So yes, we can run code. Yes, we might even run like now JetBeans and everything outside from a Windows perspective targeting WSL. But these tools, like what Patrick is showing, why WSL USC is quite really neat here, is that it will bring your tools that you have inside your WSL, and then by having an X server right now, but in the future it will no more be the need, right? You will have the X server embedded. Then you can run actually your tools directly and no performance issues. So the workflows when you are a developer and using WSL2 is starting to get to the point that before it was like, it was the discovery. Oh, nice. But now we are moving, let's say, to maturity. It's not still there, of course, but we are still moving to maturity, where now we need to think about like where to work. Before it was like, oh, let me test things, whatever I am. Now it's like, okay, to optimize my work, then let me work from WSLFS, or let me work from Windows FS for that matter. I don't know why, but let's say that it's something that we can do, right? So yeah. I like that this tool here, because it helps us stay, let's say, even if we are reaching from Windows, like what Patrick is showing, is like a simple link, symlink, right? But to some application that is running inside WSL2. So now the interrupt system is kind of the other way. From Windows, we can interact with WSL2. It's not just WSL2 to Windows. So I really like it very much.
And Patrick, and the point that you said, that it's open source, anyone can help, can contribute, and can be used by any distro, is something that you start even before Ubuntu. And I think that's what your point is, open source and can be used. And that's important to keep like that, isn't it?
Yeah, actually, we receive a lot of feedbacks. Like this is complete open source. So like it's on GitHub, and
yeah, that's the point. That's the good thing, and it's just following, getting our the latest versions. And but what we have more there? So, what's another command? That's a nice one.
So like you can actually, like for the WSL view, you can actually like using that command to open the website from your default Windows browser. Hello?
Yep. That's a good one, because if you want to integrate with Windows and you want to make sure that you.
Okay. I thought I freezed.
No, okay. You're still here with us. Yeah.
So like it also can use like use it as like a file browser. So when I type this, it will open the default file. I think the best part of this is that I register it as the default browser in the Ubuntu. So actually, like you can do something like if you want to run like Jupyter notebook, if you type it, it's registered, so it automatically will call WSL View and will jump the website on your default Windows browser.
So
Okay.
this is great. This is useful to authenticate Azure, for instance, when you're logging from Docker.
Yeah, no,
Yeah,
that's
like,
great actually, because the browser for some, so the AZ login is one of them, definitively, but there's others that provide, even when you test maybe something with Node.js or whatever, you have the link. Then if your browser is set to, like, a browser variable is set to WSL View, then you don't mind anymore finding where Edge typically is, or where your Chrome is, and stuff like that. That's a great feature, actually. That's a great idea, like a great tip and trick. That's really neat. I like that.
Patrick, is that like default? Like all the distros that we install WSL utilities, after installation, that works, correct?
No, like I think most of them will work except the Alpine Linux and Arch Linux, and because they do not support like update alternatives.
Okay.
I think like for the rest of them, like I have already automatically set up the update alternative. So like if you install WSL via the package version, it will automatically like set up the browser for you.
That's great.
Cool.
That's a one to keep in mind, and that's bring real
But
integration.
then can we not, like for these others, just do an export browser equals and then potentially backtick WSL View or $parentheses WSL View as a sub command? I know Matheus is already like on it, so I like that. But yeah,
Like
so
you mean like running the explorer.exe or something like that directly?
yeah, so sorry, Matheus, I thought that you were testing my thing. That's why I saw it like typing. But no, yeah, I'm saying like if you export browser, export browser equals and then the commands instead of a passive file.
Yeah, like, but there is a problem with the Explorer that I think I report recently that if you execute Explorer, it will not return like the error message. It will always return 1, whether it's successful opened or not on the WSL side. And also sometimes like I have problem with the Explorer.exe with the UNC path. And the third point is that WSL View can also like, you can just input like Windows path directly, and it will automatically translate for you. Like also it supports like the file protocol, especially designed for the Jupyter, because Jupyter actually use the file protocol. So actually specific designed to like detect the file protocol for the Jupyter notebook.
Okay. Yeah, makes sense.
And Patrick, I'm looking documentation here is about the mounting drives, WSL ACT. I think that's the one that we haven't talked yet, but I think that's one very WSL ACT.
Yeah, that one is more like a collection of utilities that I think it's like a very light one. So like they are not like separated. So there are right now mainly 2 in the stable version. I think. Yeah. Let me display for you. And for this version, actually, there are 3 utilities. Like I just add one today. It's the memory reclamation. And in the stable release, there is a time sync feature, auto mounting feature, and mostly for the first feature, because I noticed sometimes if you like using the WSL in the virtual machine, it will sometimes like cause the time to have like you will have problem with the time, like it's not synced with the Windows time, like it will suddenly like fall behind several hours, and like it will cause problem when you like writing stuff. So actually, this is more like designed for myself before, like to solve my problem. Like if you type the time sync, it will automatically sync the time with your Windows time.
It's not only your problem. There's like a huge thread in GitHub about this issue. Like normally you should do like HW clock -S to sync again, because the micro VM suddenly gets out of sync, like Patrick just said. And what it provokes is like for some, let's say, utilities, especially authentications and everything, because your time computer is not the correct time, then you cannot log in, you cannot sync things. I mean, you have like a variety of errors because simply being out of sync. I think even apt-get, for example, will not work because the repo and your machine have different times. So that's a mess. This time thing. So having it like as simple as that, like again, great idea and great tool.
Yeah.
This memory reclamation is new, right? This option for the memory reclamation.
Yeah, that's from development. Yeah, memory reclamation.
Yeah. This is not available yet, right?
Like the new feature in the WSL2, like you can like drop your memory cache, like using a one command. It's like they enabled it because like because it's a new feature in the kernel. So like I just want to like short the typing because I cannot remember the comment all the time.
Yeah, is that
Like,
on the is that release? No, sorry. I mean, I was asking, is that release on WSL Utilities already or not? Or is that just development?
That feature is not in the stable version. It's still in the development version.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think Nuno have to go, Nuno, but thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks. And
Thank
great.
you.
Let's do it again. Like great panel, loved it. So yeah. I have some questions for Matheus the next time, so I want him to be on the hot seat right now.
Thanks, Nuno. Thanks
Okay.
for joining.
So take care, everyone. Bye bye.
Bye bye, Uno.
Yeah, good.
Bye bye.
Yeah, it's good. It's good to have 5 time zones here, but yeah, thanks, Nuno.
Yeah. Actually, I'm so sorry. Like because of my network problem and a lot of problems in my demonstration.
No problem. Yeah,
no, it's great,
about
man.
this, about the memory reclamation. It's about the cache. This from the file system, the drop caches. Because we had that command that syncs, and we have to echo to the proc.
Yeah, it's basically like a warped version. Like it's just like it's just a one command, but like I want to just like enable it inside of the like mostly the WSL ACK is basically the quick actions for like those like you can type with a few comments or one comment, but like you can also like invoke directly from the WSL ACK utility.
Cool.
Well, I have a question, Patrick. Do you have anything to show about the interaction between Windows and Linux, starting something from the Windows side to control the Linux system?
Actually, like, yeah, I do have one. So that one is, let me, okay, it's canceled. So I do write another utility called the PSUWI. So PSUWI is so this is our PowerShell scripts that you can actually create a Ubuntu WSL instance like on demand. You can create a temporary Ubuntu WSL distro like with some pre-configured settings.
Oh, this is very cool to use like in pipelines. Sometimes I have like a cross-system pipeline that I have like an agent running, Windows Server, and I have to run like a command like on WSL, and it can help in my scripts, right?
Yeah, I think so. Like a SDK and
yeah, basically like it's kind of like a module that will try to interact with the WSL.
No, right. This is awesome. This is very useful. Sometimes you have a pipeline and you have like a .NET application, but you have to deploy using Ansible, and you can create like an instance to run Linux and run the Ansible command.
Yeah. So actually, like one core component of the new Ubuntu UWP version, like we try to try to automate the process of building the Ubuntu UWP. So I actually built it with the tool. So here it's called the Ubuntu Cooker, and it's built around the PSUWI. And like I can use it to like build the new like community preview or the focal bionic or the LTS images directly with just one command. So like right now, like I can just type one command and I can get the Ubuntu WP build for the store right now.
Oh, this is awesome.
okay, that one is the PowerShell that you're talking about, yeah. I was confused with the Python one that you wrote as well, WSL, like a Python library that is similar. Or
Pardon?
you have a WSL Python as well.
Okay, that one actually it's kind of like still in development and still very broken.
Okay.
So I'm right now I'm more focused on the WSLU. For the WSLPY, it's still like not, or although I said it's in development, but like it's right now it's pretty on in the on hold state.
Okay, fair enough. I think it's great. But let's move a little bit for WSL itself. What are you doing? If you still have time, Matheus, want to ask anything about Kernel? Or, how are you?
Oh,
We have the new Kernel, yeah.
I'm muted. What?
You already hear me now?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. But I have a question about the WSLU. About the WSL fetch yet. From where you get the cool char arts, right? The ASCII arts from the WSL fetch.
Those are mostly from the screen fetch and neo fetch. I actually mentioned in the credits, like it's in the third-party license. You can actually see like where all the stuff are coming from here.
Okay, so if I have a new distro, the way to go is open a merge request on this, and you use then on your tool, right?
Pardon?
If I have a new distro and I want to add ASCII art for this distro, The best way is go to these repositories and do a merge request and you use the same, right?
Yeah.
If you want to
Okay.
add, Matthew has his Linux distro here. That's why he's asking.
Yeah, only to be sure that my
So, like-
ASCII art you be in your tool.
He wants
Yeah,
to be the
because
next
like
canonical.
there is so many license stuff, like there are basically a third-party license file here.
Oh, okay, yeah. Yeah, I think if you measure there, you just talk to Patrick. He can do for you. Fernando, what do you think is WSL Utilities? I think we all have to thank Patrick for starting these and supporting these. A good way for all the dish to have the same approach and the same way to integrate with Windows.
Yeah, the tools is awesome.
Yeah,
It's handy.
it's right now support a lot of distros.
Yeah, I noticed that you publish package for pretty much all the distros now. Most of
Yeah,
the main distros.
Like if people request it, I will try to like build one actually. Like mostly like for things like Alpine Linux is because it's like Alpine Linux because there is one on the store. Like for Arch Linux because there's third-party ones. And like people will actually like install custom like distro like CentOS or Red Hat Enterprise Linux. So actually I do also have one. Like rest of them are like there is just so many ones, and actually like in the development version, I also have the support for the Clear Linux and the CPU Mariner.
Okay.
CPU Mariner is I think is the Windows internal Linux distro that used
Yes.
for like development inside Windows and
Yep.
or Azure.
Yep. Yeah, the Marina is the Microsoft distro that probably some stage will be public, but let's see. And it's very nice for device. And I think Matheus is something that you want to talk about in the future.
Of course.
Marina, and that's your specialty. But what's coming? What are you doing uncanonical that you want to talk about a little bit for us?
Yeah, like I think not much people know about that, but like we are building a new out-of-box experience for the Ubuntu and a new tool to like configure your Ubuntu called the Ubuntu WSL.
Nice. That sounds good.
And actually, I think you can preview from the already preview.
Yeah, I have installed here the community preview. The installation screens, right?
Yeah. So this one.
Yep.
So like there are some preview images. Oh, they dead.
Yep.
They're dead here for some reason. But like I can give you a like live demonstration here.
Yep.
So let me go to the for the out-of-box experience. So like this is the new out-of-box experience for the Ubuntu WSL.
Yep.
And we are using the like basically the same code that's used to build the Ubiquiti, which is the Windows, which is the Ubuntu server installer. like if you try to install Ubuntu server, this very similar interface you will be greeted with. So like you can select languages and you can like input username and password like here. And also if like they don't match, it will warn you, or like you are using some username that is not allowed, it will also warn you.
Yep. Okay, then means that is that available for when do you think it's going available for new users as well? Like when someone start WSL for the first time, that's what they're going to get.
Yeah.
Okay.
So yeah. So this make it a bit easier for like user to like interact with the Ubuntu.
Yep.
And like for some power user, possibly they want to configure more, and we actually made an advanced option for them. So so like you can greet with this page, like you can configure where you want your Windows drive to mount, what parameters you want for the mount option. Do you want like, some people don't want to like generate host file or like result.com file every time. So like you can disable them, or like they can enable the GUI integration from the Ubuntu, and they can also do that. Like there is also a less known feature by Ubuntu that we actually have a GUI integration built right into the distro, but like it's a bit broken, so like we actually remove it in the latest one. So like we will be re-enable them here, like in the preview.
Cool.
So like this is a very simple like setup that goes through and to guide user on how to like use the Ubuntu and WSL, because most people are not comfortable with terminal at first, because most people will usually use the GUI stuff, and I think this will help them.
Yeah. Do you think if I select GUI, they're going to install all the graphical libraries? I don't understand the graphical night mode.
Actually, like it will try to run some checks, and it will try to like enable the display variables, enable some other variables related to the GUI environment.
Yeah.
And yeah, you still need a third-party X server, because like we cannot offer X server that we cannot offer X server that as our like recommend one, because because the company policy.
Yeah,
and also like also because like Windows GUI support is coming, and we don't want to like push the GUI support too much.
Yeah, I understand. And I'm not even talking about the X server, because then the feature that will be native on Windows. But what are you going to install on the Ubuntu itself? Because at the moment when you install, like Matheus, remember that we try install and there is no GTK. There is no you have to install the graphical package. Let's call like that. Are you guys planning to install anything in advance? Because you need like hundreds of packages to install sometimes, or not?
Yeah, right now actually I do not install a very specific one.
Okay.
So mostly it's just like actually, to be honest, I already forget which one I installed, because like this environment is so long. Like this developing environment is possibly like it's been 3 years, this developing environment. So I don't know. I already forgot
which one you have. I know.
everything about it.
Yeah, but just one thing to keep in mind that you probably have to still, maybe some stage, you're going to put another option on that GUI and say, I want to install, I know, GTK version 3 or version 2. Let's think
Yeah.
about the feature. Just what do you think, Matheus?
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
when
that's a good suggestion.
I think when we have the integration, the full integration on the Windows side, this will be more easy to maintain, right?
Pardon?
On the Windows side, he's thinking that you're going to have anything to maintain that on the Windows side. Do you think, are you guys playing anything on the Windows side to maintain that?
Yeah.
No.
No? Okay.
I mean, when we have the integration, the full integration from Microsoft to use the user interface with Weston and maybe have this set up from a GUI already configured. I don't know. I'm thinking forward, right? When we have this all set up, right?
Yeah, it's actually a current limitation of the WSL Utilities thing. It's like if you want to push to the store, they have like an official template you have to follow. So it's pretty limited, and especially because API itself is pretty limited for the official one. So we cannot do much on that side. Also, yeah, there also something I cannot talk about.
Yep. That's okay.
Like other reasons that because of the NDA that we actually not working on it. Like a lot of things we have paused because of something actually Microsoft is working on.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, just suggestions. Think that people, how are you going to, to which side you're going to manage? It's like have a package registry on the Windows side, or some like GUI on the Windows side that you can pretty much have what you have inside the distro, or even just call the distro native, package management or application management from the Windows, but each distro will be calling a different one. And just say, show me the GUI from the Linux, and then you install whatever you want on that specific distro. I think that it will be nice. Look, I'm from Microsoft, but I don't know any NDA, sorry, then I'm just, guessing here. Don't think I know anything. I'm just guessing here.
Yeah, another thing, we have some clients, for example, we are providing on my company, we are providing some tools, some development tools that use the WSL behind. So, for example, the customer has to install a distro, right? And then the customer must go through this first installation from the distro, right? Maybe for this customer in particular, maybe only one install without the default and any configuration is enough, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, could be.
Actually, I think that's the current problem of the WSL because it lacks enterprise support right now. It do not have any group policy. It do not have more easy configuring method other than the WSL.exe. And I have discussed with my colleagues the other day, discuss about the enterprise support on WSL, and I just realized there is just a lot of things missing for WSL in the enterprise support. like some people actually want to like disable the root account completely for like using with WSL, but like it's impossible because you can still access with the user option in the WSL.exe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's something you'll be probably working on the feature. Look, if you have to think about WSL came just for us to use, the Linux command line tools, then move to Windows Server. Then we start talking about, GUI on that. It's just like evolution. Then got so popular, that now we're moving in another direction. But I remember 4 years ago when you started talking about these people, just asking, hang on, you guys want to have, Linux on Windows. Now we have even a kernel. We talk about GUI, acceleration, it's growing legs, and it's amazing because possibilities. And just to finish here, one thing, Patrick, and get a feedback from you guys. I see WSL as, imagine someone that works with Windows, and many people move to Mac just because they want to have a command line, looking like Linux. And now it's so easy to onboard some new people to start using Linux. And I think that's the main goal here. We have now on Windows an environment that someone can buy a laptop for like $300, okay?
Yeah.
An entry-level laptop, and they can start using Linux and Windows as well. They can learn both, and they can have multiple distros, lightweight distros running in parallel. We all know that we need virtual machines to do that on any other environment. And Windows is so easy to back up and restore distros and play. To be honest, I think the best environment to work with Linux at the moment, at least for me, that used to do Linux since 2000, 2001, 2002. And I have to reinstall and install multiple distros. Now I can play with multiple distros on my Windows. What do you guys think? How many distros you have there just in your environment? I mean,
actually not much. Like this is a new setup, so I haven't import all my distros. Like on my old computer, I think I have like over 10. Because I have to test on all environments.
Yep.
But like that is also one advantage of the WSL, because like you can like just use all the environment directly in one operating system. Like you do not have to like move away. Like this is also like I see this is a very good way to like introduce people to start using the Linux, like to learn how they can like interact with Linux. Like it's the very first step for I think for a lot of users like us. I also think it's really good for students, like because like when I was in university and the WSL is introduced, and it actually stopped me from like dual booting my my Windows Ubuntu system. Like I can just do my homework right in the WSL, and I can like output it to the Windows, and I can submit it on the Windows, and it's just very fast and easy. I don't have to dual boot, and I don't have to like set up so many hassles like there is a time signed issues, like there is possibly the grub issue, and I don't have to deal with that. I can just go to WSL, do my homework, complete it, put it in Windows, and submit it.
Yeah, I fully agree with that, and I think that's the main reason we are. I think Windows is helping to to grow the Linux community, and that's the most important thing. And because the last 5 years we have command line back for developers with containers and all these things, and have Linux now growing on the server side, on the cloud side. We need people learning, basic skills at least, basic Linux skills. And WSL is helping a lot, to be honest.
Yeah.
And the kernel, let's quickly to finish that. Matheus, what do you think about the kernel 5.4772, I think, eh? That's the latest on the stable release. What that brings for us, that improved performance in...
Yeah, to be honest, I don't using the Microsoft one. I always use my own builds, right?
Yep.
But I think they merge. What they are doing is always use the long-term support, right? They are using the 4.19, that is LTS, and now they are using the 5.4.
5.472 now, yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know if we already have one new LTS.
We have one just a month ago or something.
Yeah, we can go to the kernel.org, and you can see the versions. The main line is 5, stable long term. The next long term will be the 5.10.
Yep.
So yeah, they are merging the repository from Microsoft on the long term. On the main line, we do not have yet the memory reclamation from the Hyper-V side. So when we start the virtual machine for the WSL and request memory, this memory is not go back to the Windows side. This only is back to the system if you make the shutdown. So this is on the feature that we have only on the Microsoft repository yet. And the DirectX feature, we don't have yet on the mainline, only on the Microsoft one. And more some details, but the best way to see this is going to the GitHub repository from Microsoft, the WSL Kernel, and check for the tag MSFD. If you search on the commits for MSFD, you will check what we only have on the Microsoft repository and don't on the mainline kernel Linux.
Oh, okay, they have different features there. That's interesting. One thing interesting is if you look at our Windows Update, the kernel is being updated automatically by the Windows Update. I have just to make sure that you select the option to allow other products. I think maybe if I can share my screen, we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that I go on Windows Update on the settings, Windows settings. Let's go back all the way. Update and security, Windows Update. Then you go here on your history, in my case, because I want to see all the updates. And if you close that and you go on other update features, you can see what's updated here, 5.472. How I make sure that those other updates are, always being selected, go here, advanced options, and you make sure that the first one is on. You can see because mine is managed by the organization, it's always on. But in yours, will be option to select this on here. And if you make this on, your WSL kernel be always updated, and you can check. You can check here on history others. Then, if you never did that, make sure that you have that's the latest version here. Sounds good.
Also, just a heads up, I just tried the comment, and there is a new kernel dropped it.
Okay.
In the development channel. 5.4.91.
Okay, I haven't got that yet. Probably I'll be getting soon. But it's in development, yeah? Not on...
Yeah, it's on development, I think.
Yeah, it's on development. What's the version?
It's 5.4.91.
I know.
Yeah, and 5.4 there is a LTS long-term service, and I think it's 2025. Okay, it's still a long time ahead.
Yeah.
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 Then if you want the latest of the latest, get the Matheus channel and look, he's building the kernel and getting
Yeah.
the latest version.
This is one thing important also, because you can see that the patch of the version always increase. We have some security and some patches that have to be measured, right? So you have the 5.4 and always something increasing on the patch version, right?
Yeah.
So it is important to maintain your kernel updated.
Yeah, I think if you don't follow that, it's more like low level. For people that really like, is go on GitHub and search for WSL Kernel. That's Microsoft/WSL2. Maybe be easier to share again here. There you go. That's the Microsoft WSL Linux kernel repo. And what Matheus was say, you can go here on the, what do you want to go? I want to go on the commit. So
On the, you want to see the versions, or?
no, you said that you want to see the.
Oh, yeah. About the MSFT tag, right?
Yep.
It's more easy on the CLI. You can
Okay.
do a git log, right? A git log graph for this. On the GitHub interface, I don't know how to search for this. I don't know if you search for this will work, but
we can show that next time. But anyway, you can go here on this Git repo. You can just check out, get the code here, and then you search for, if you want to see the versions that Microsoft is working. What's the keyword you said?
Only on the, you have the combo box with master. Click on there. Here you can see the versions that Microsoft is working on. Basically, the two long-term supports that we have today, the 4.19 and 5.4. And you can see that the patch is, we don't have nothing on the patch, because the patch is merged continuously, right, with the latest patches versions from the git.org.
Okay.
Kernel.org.
Interesting. Fernando, you want any final? I think I'd say thank you for Patrick. And Patrick, you want to say something or anything that you want to say?
No, Patrick. Your tools are essential for the WSL. Okay, could move on with your new stuff here, and I'm excited. We are excited to see your new release in the future and this interaction from the Windows side with the Linux, right? And congrats for your work. It's awesome.
Yeah. I think we have to make a call of this every time you release something new to new out the novities.
We can show here. We can show here when you release something new. Just let us know. We can book a time and record a new video.
Okay.
Yeah, we're happy to promote that. I think is a great thing to have, a single open source utility that we can work across all the distros and make a standard on that. And the libraries as well, the PowerShell and even the Python maybe I think will be very important. Thanks Patrick. Thank you Matheus, Fernando, and Nuno that's not here anymore, and catch up soon.